So we have one person. Okay, Nikhil has already come in. Okay, let me just check on YouTube as well. So good evening, everyone. I think we have some people who have already joined in. Hi, Nikhil. Okay, if just you guys can have a quick confirmation that you guys can hear us. Okay, we already have Chirayu who's already joined the call.
Good
So
evening,
Nikhil
guys.
and other
Happy
people who are
to be
there.
here.
Okay, are you able to hear us? Okay, if you guys can confirm. Good evening, Rachel. So Chirayu, meanwhile, students are joining in, okay, and we have some because I think some of the students might be having some of the other doubt clearing session or something that is having. I think some of the workshop was also happening. I'm not sure of the schedule, but something was there for a few of the
Yeah.
students in some of the batches. So
Hmm.
they might also be joining in a couple of minutes.
Not an
Meanwhile.
issue. Not an issue.
Yeah, meanwhile, let me have a quick round of introduction. So, firstly, Chirayu, thanks for joining in. And this is a time where a lot of people right now, with regards to NMAT itself, okay, because the notification came once the date had also come in. Okay, people started
Okay.
booking the slots. Then suddenly the dates are out. Okay, like no, the close in fact. So people are now in
Yeah.
a fixed NMAT ho bhi raha hai ki nahi ho raha hai. But with all the positive thoughts in our mind, okay, definitely we think that NMAT is going to happen sometime or the other.
Yes.
Okay,
I
for
think
this
that is the
year.
right approach right now.
Yes, yes, yes. And in fact, for that, we are also having an NMAT workshop going in. Okay, these students who have joined in. So Rahul, Hiren, Nida, everyone. Okay, these students are also attending the NMAT workshops. Okay, so I have particularly called you. Okay, because I want you to guide students at this point of time where स्टूडेंट्स फील दैट कि हमसे कैट का मॉक दे रहे हैं मार्क्स कम आ रहा है या एनमैट का दिया तो उसमें भी अगर स्पीड के चक्कर में उनको लगा कि एनमैट हो जाएगा लेकिन स्पीड बहुत फास्ट लगी और उसके चक्कर में फिर वो नहीं हो पा रहा है so a lot of people have these ups and downs okay at this phase okay right now and because you have passed out this year itself from NM okay I now I think we can even talk about your placement जो कॉलेज में रहते हैं तो placements की बात नहीं कर सकते but अभी
Yeah.
कर सकते हो तो I think I would give it to you only to give your own introduction in the most elaborate manner and I think then we can take students question as well.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Heather. So, a brief introduction about myself would be almost 3 years back. I was as nervous as you guys are right now. कोई clarity नहीं रहती है about any exams. But I think the only way that you can deal with these issues is keep practicing, have that discipline maintained, जो भी आपने अभी तक करा हुआ है, and just have faith and keep practicing. I think whenever you get the chance, you have to make the best of it. So a brief introduction is my name is Chirayu. I am based out of Pune, an engineering background. Yes, the stats are correct. 90% of the MBA guys in India are based out of coming from engineering background. I am one of them. Did decently well in my MAT. I had a score of 232 in my entrance year. Mm, specialized in finance in the
232 okay
year.
232 right एग्जैक्टली
Yeah,
आई
232.
थिंक वो स्कोर से ही हम लोग को क्लियर हो जाता है कि उसके बाद तो एनमैट कन्वर्ट होना ही है बिकॉज 210 यूजुअली इज द कट ऑफ एंड if
Yes.
that's 22 marks more than that okay so this is also for students who are listening right now that nmat gives a lot of emphasis on your score okay so if you the higher you are than the cutoff which is 210 so उतना ज़्यादा chances बढ़ जाता है. Okay, so
Exactly.
I think without getting into the CDPI process, Chirayu was pretty sure okay with regards to conversion के chances अब ज़्यादा हैं. Obviously CDPI में अच्छा तो करना ही था. Okay, that was there.
Exactly. So I think that is also something that you have to keep in mind. There is no beneficial thing that will work for you if you just bank on your score. I have seen people getting rejected even after an amazing score because they take CDPI very lightly. And
Yes,
we have very good sessions happening for CDPI. So have to focus on it. Written exam is not end of the journey. The journey does not end till you get the admit card from the college. So that is, I think, we have to emphasize on that. Uh, Also, I think when it comes to NM and the entrance exam, I know there is a lot of questions, there is a lot of confusion. Format alag hai, the questions, what type of questions will be coming. Abhi, I have heard even that the dates, because as Heather was just telling me that the dates are also not coming. So my advice around this would be, stick to the schedule that you have currently on, because the exam dates are not in your hand, but your own practice, the way you skill up yourself, because this is an additional bonus time that you have got, that the previous people or previous batches have not got it. So make the most of it. Do not panic, because jitna aap practice करोगे, obviously exam would be that easy. And I would, my own personal experiences, I used to juggle job and MBA preparation. So मेरी भी उतनी ही, I was in the same boat, that how do I make time for an important exam like this. Exams were very near, and I used to get panicky. So one basic thing, or one basic habit I used to always do is give a mock test, and not just look at the score, but analyze each and every question, what needs to be improved, what is my strengths, and what is my
So,
weakness.
Chirayu, here, some students are asking that you're a fresher or not. Okay, so I understand you had work ex. So, what is
Yes.
your total work ex? Like, was it the first year after engineering or like 2 years after
No.
engineering?
So I have 2 years work ex before my MBA in a software domain. So it was a
Okay.
client facing site, so that helped me shape up my soft skills. But yes, to answer the question, yes.
NMAT was your first attempt after 2 years of experience, or कि engineering के साथ या first year में भी दिया था कभी
Right. So
experience में?
NMAT was my second experience, second attempt. The time I got in, उसके पहले I had given NMAT, but just to get a flavor of the exam, how the exam
Okay.
goes. पहली बार
So,
flavor
were you,
मिल गया,
did you give that serious, genuine attempt in the first time? Like, was it like that?
oh
कि ऐसे
no
बस
no
उठ
no,
के
I just No, I had just given it to understand कि भाई एक बार देख आते हैं what is the environment, what is the paper pattern and all, and that is when I realized that there needs to be done a lot of serious work for this exam, and that is how
Yeah.
I planned the second year for it, the more serious attempt.
So I think this is a good message, okay, because there are some students would be preparing for the next year attempt from now only, okay.
Yeah,
There are people for
yeah,
CAT 20 also. So that's why I think, okay, this is an important reason why someone should go and give, even if you're not that well prepared for this year, you should definitely go
exactly.
and
You
give the
should,
exam this year so that you get a good
yeah.
flavor and a reality check as well.
Exactly. So that sitting in that environment, you understand when you're actually going for your main attempt, you understand what all to be expected. Because there are
Yeah,
few things, NMAT being tied up with GMAT, there are some things which are very different from all the other normal exams. So the way
yeah,
you are admitted into the centers, the writing books, the solving books, everything is very different. So yes, it is a very
yeah,
good experience to first have that experience before, and even for guys who are going for the first time, it is a new experience, but it is extremely student friendly. So don't start panicking. Yeah, where is the notebook? Where is the pen and the paper? It is a very smooth process handled by the college as well as the organizers. Very student friendly.
okay. And here, okay, so another thing that usually students have, okay, because a lot of people prepare for CAT, okay, and then
Yeah.
eventually they switch on to NMAT, okay.
Yes.
And there are obviously some students who focus towards NMAT or SNAP or the non-CAT exams. So
Yeah.
what was, you fell in which of these categories, and what exactly was your plan there?
So I think I was very much inclined towards being into finance, and for that reason, somehow that was my own personal choice. I wanted to do my MBA in the finance capital of country, that is Mumbai. So I had my eyes only on two colleges, two main colleges. Again, completely personal choice. That was Jamnal Bajaj and NMAT, NM. So I was very much focused on CET and NM. All my test series, all my course studies were based on only these two paper patterns. So I did a lot of, I think one of the major advices that I would also like to give the students here is aim for the exam and keep practicing the paper pattern that is coming out. Whatever is the paper pattern expected. So that actually helped me to focus on the colleges that I wanted to get in, or the exams for that matter. So that was my approach.
Okay. So like CAT was never on your cards, is it so?
So I think CAT was like an exam which I thought that if I study for NMAT well enough, I would
Hmm.
be covering 90% of the portion for CAT. Probably
Perfect,
just
perfect.
the mindset, and because CAT has negative marking, I just have to change my mindset, which is an easy switch, easy switch, because the fundamentals I have to be clear. The fundamentals for all these exams are anyways just the basic ones. You just have to
Yes.
switch the mindset and the paper pattern. So that was the approach that I used during my days.
Okay, okay. So we were discussing about this about like कि cons तो अब तो pattern change हो गया, but like before this, the pattern in which you gave where cons was actually the most heavy weightage segment
Yes,
of
yes,
the three sections. And in fact, verbal I remember was hardly like 22 minutes time that we used to get
yeah,
for
yeah,
verbal.
22 minutes time, 30, 35 questions.
22
Yeah,
minutes, 32 questions, okay, was the time slot for verbal. So verbal was like
yeah,
lightning speed. Okay, वो तो ऐसे
yes,
निकल जाता था. Okay, so
yes.
major portion, I think 1 hour of the paper was quants only.
Only
And
quants. Yes,
that you were telling that quants was not you were not that good with quants. Okay,
yes,
I mean, and firstly, I think that also goes to a message to all the non-engineers. देखो engineering करके ऐसा नहीं है कि हर कोई quants में अच्छा होता है. Okay, so Chirayu being an engineer, he faced that challenge. Okay, that he was not that good with quants. But his
yeah,
non-con, the other two sections, logic and verbal, he made that those two sections were at least good. So,
exactly.
Chirayu, you can tell students here that even if for an exam where cons was a major part, still you focus on other two areas and manage to clear the cutoff. So, how did that happen?
So I had a basic strategy. The strategy was to improve or to sharpen my strengths to such an extent that I do not even miss out even a single question in those particular sections. And
Yes,
the
yes,
weak part, I had to improve it to certain level so that I do not get stuck at a question. अगर
yeah,
नहीं आ रहा है तो I could at least solve some part of it, the concepts basically. So what I did
yes,
was in quant, DI होता है and एक pure quant होता है. I decided to concentrate more on DI, and pure quant was, I would not say skippable, but I'll still say a little bit less importance was given to it as compared to the other sections. But yes, when I say I
yes.
give a lot of importance to LR and verbal, I used to solve sectional tests almost, I think, before the exam, or probably this time when it was still some time for the exam, I used to solve at least 10 sectional tests for LR and 10 sectional tests for verbal every day to, practice my skills for it, because it was my strength. I had to use it to the best of my capabilities.
So I think that's where the point comes that see when we talk about LR, okay, a lot of people feel that LR में तो वो coding decoding आ गया या number series आ गया, so ये तो हमको आता है because this is considered to be easy topics, okay, and a lot of
Yeah.
people have that ये तो हमको आता है, so because of that they don't work more on that. Okay, and
Yes.
then when they move on to mocks or rather on the actual day of exam, they feel कि आना अलग चीज है और उस time limit में execute करना is a
Exactly.
different plan altogether.
Yes. So
So
I
I think
think
that's very
getting
good.
used to
Yes,
the
that's very good.
questions is very important. Getting used to the various patterns of the questions is very important. So that there are no
Yeah.
surprises in the exam. Exam में बस symbols change होगा. The logic it will strike to you very quickly if you are used to solving those questions repeatedly. So that's what I say.
Yeah.
Practice makes the man perfect, and in NMAT that is the code. That is the code to crack the exam.
Okay. So particularly about quants, okay, was it that you did all the topics या सब कुछ करके गए थे, कुछ एकदम छोड़ के गए थे? Like I know that this is going to be 3 years ago. Okay, yeah, you might not remember everything, but
No,
vaguely
no,
do
I
you
think
have
when it comes
anything?
to quant, I was pretty sure that probability is one subject जो probably मैं कभी नहीं सीख पाऊंगा अच्छे से. So I had given a very less importance to that particular subject topic in
Okay.
quant, and
Okay.
focused a lot on geometry because I think NM also as an exam, NMAT also, there are a lot of importance on these two topics. So if I'm leaving one topic, I had to give a lot of importance to the other topic. So that
Yes.
was
Yes.
the theory. Because in such exams, what my learning was, if you are concentrating on your weak point, you do not have a lot of time to cover it up to become an expert in probably 3 4 months. That usually is the study time for these exams. So best strategy for me personally has always worked is just make your weakness or weak subjects good enough, but make your strengths just impregnable.
So it is like quants where we can say arithmetic was something that you did and geometry. So these two were like something that you focus
Yes.
more, and the
Yes.
other apart from probability, you just had a higher level glance.
Yes. Higher level maths की अगर कोई इक्का तुक्का क्वेश्चन आ जाता है, I should not even miss that opportunity. So
Yes,
something
yes,
on
yes.
those levels.
So yeah, यहाँ पे some people are asking about the NMAT guide. Okay, so did I think that some people do buy that guide and study.
Yes.
Okay, but But you did you study from that, and what's your opinion on those
I
things?
think it is a stepping stone towards what will be the questions that will be coming on. Gives you a very good idea, but it is not enough. Is what I would say. It is, I would say, just the first step towards what your preparation should be when it comes to NMAT. Uh, Definitely be used or referred to if you are giving it for the first time. But then there's a lot of more work outside of the guide as well that needs to be done. But yeah, I think it is extremely helpful for a newcomer, somebody who's not given NMAT before.
Okay, okay, okay. All right. And how many mocks did you give? Because you said that no, you gave only NMAT or CET mocks. Okay, so how many mocks
Yeah.
did you give?
So I think I do not remember the exact number, but in the last week before the exam, I had given around I think 45 mock tests. That is the complete NMAT mock tests from various
45.
resources, various exams. Yeah, and I used to always aim because a lot of these online tests now they give you the state ranking, top 10, top 20 rankings. So I used to
Yeah, yeah,
aim
yeah,
for that as well. Ki, let's try and get
yeah.
under previous platforms. Let's try and get that. So that was the aim. That has always been my strategy. But so till then, till you become perfect in that.
So I think in that case, because usually institutes offer around 10 to 12 NMAT mocks. Okay,
Yes,
they don't have like a long list of 30, 35 mocks. So
yes,
because MBAP is also offering around 10 NMAT mocks, which is as per the new pattern. Okay, so
yes,
I think the good idea is that in fact I tell even for the CAT students that you start giving mock of different institutes. Okay, make a group of 4 5 students. Okay, share mocks
yes,
so that you
yes.
have your ability is there to crack any form of exam that comes in.
Exactly. I
Yes,
totally support that point. Yes.
yes, yes, yes. So I think some questions more are coming up. Any extra books that you would suggest for NMAT? Anything like that?
Yeah, I think if you're joining a class, the material is good enough. I have seen MBAP materials as well. They're up to standard. So you can definitely refer that and go ahead with that. Other than that, I think more than the material, because honestly, it is something that you have learned bachpan se abhi tak. The topics are not new. You just have to get used to the questions. So I would not suggest any material out of the already material that you must have gotten.
So I think one thing that I also believe, and that's very much in sync with what you're saying. Okay, that if I say the strategy based exams like CAT and the non strategy based exams like NMAT, SNAP or
Yeah.
CET, I mean I don't know CET के साथ तो कुछ problem ही हो गया पिछले 2 3 साल से they are throwing surprises every year. But other than that, NMAT and SNAP, okay, it has been a pretty standard exam. Okay,
Yes.
so
Yes.
I think what you did was pretty much in sync. That if someone has given those many number of mocks, okay, और उसको इतने एकदम रगड़ के खींच के पढ़ के सब कुछ निकाल दिया उसके अंदर से, he knows that what works for him, he knows that what does not work for
Yeah.
him, and based on
Exactly.
someone practices to that level, then I think those 2 hours of exam is going to be only a matter of executing that, and
Exactly.
executing that one more
It
game that you have
yeah.
completed the time before.
It just becomes another mock that you had given previously, probably a day before of your
Yes,
main exam. So that mindset is just
yes.
that, just ease.
So how did you overcome that part of scores dipping down, okay, and marks में marks नहीं आ रहा है, because 45 marks में definitely dips आए होंगे, okay,
Yes,
and
yes.
yes, so
So
a lot of students during this time feel demotivated and feel like कि नहीं छोड़ो हम कुछ और करते हैं life में. So what was
so
your
I think
motivation that time?
definitely, I think that happens. Everybody goes through that. कि dip आ रहा है, अब क्या करे? पिछले mock में probably scored more than 90, now getting less than 90.
Yeah,
So my always strategy was कि not looking at what happened in the last mock, because usually the questions obviously are going to be different. So I used to never compare my scores. I used to always compare the difficulty level of each test and understand why did XYZ question go wrong in this mock. Not that same topic का question मेरे को last time आया था लेकिन इस time नहीं आ रहा है, so अभी वो topic मेरे को नहीं आता. So I used to never have that mindset. I used to always go back, this question was not solvable by me, but does not mean that I do not know the topic. So probably I used to go back, look at the question, look at how to solve the question, and then again go back to the topic based on whatever I learned from the solutions from the question, and just tweak my knowledge in that particular way. So for example, अगर PNC है and अगर PNC questions नहीं हो रहे हैं, I used to not throw the entire topic out of the park कि भाई last time 10 में से 10 सॉल्व हो गए थे, इस टाइम 10 में से 5 नहीं. I used to always look at those 5 questions and understand कि अच्छा ठीक है XYZ concept थोड़ा ढीला है, concentrate on that and then go forward. So that was my learning. I took one test at a time, one topic at a time. So that is how I went about with my ups and downs in the test scores. And I think that helps in a way where you get more and more knowledge about your weaknesses, and you understand what your strengths are so that you can concentrate more on that as well.
Yeah. So, did you maintain any set of friends or groups, okay, or students who are there so that you have a sense of competition between them? Does that work? Okay, because a lot of time people do maintain that as well.
Yeah, so I think it worked for me very well. I had a few of my batchmates from engineering also who were competing. So we used to have a WhatsApp group, and we used to tell them कि XYZ test में I scored this much. So that acts as a negative motivator. वो ego पे आ जाता है, but things become, you become extra motivated when you take it in the right way. So yes, it is very important to take these things in the right way, not get demotivated कि यार मेरे दोस्त को इतना मिल रहा है मुझसे तो होगा नहीं. Keeping that in mind, you have to understand कि if he can get it or she can get it,
Yeah.
so can I.
Yeah.
So I think that was the thought process that one needs to follow in such things.
And I think I will tell this to all the other students who are listening right now, that people at least who are in Mumbai, I know up to lockdown hai, okay, I mean, people that travel are restricted and all of that. But if things open up, and if you get a chance to go and see the campus, okay, I think that itself is going to be a great motivation, because the campus
Exactly.
that too in the main heart of the city, okay, the western suburbs, okay, where you have a lot of corporates around the campus. It is itself going to be a great experience and a great motivation factor, that this is the campus. If I get to spend 2 years of my life here, you're going to learn a lot. Okay, you are definitely going to learn a lot. Okay, great. So I
Exactly.
think we'll
And
take
I would
some
say
more
also
questions.
look at the
Yeah, yeah.
alums on probably LinkedIn or something. Go to the college website, look at the placement report. That always helps. So yeah, I think these are all a lot of motivators to take the exam extremely seriously.
Yes. So did you do core as major, like finance as major? Okay. So some questions from students here.
Yeah, so finance was the major. I was so I used to be a stock investor from the second year of my engineering. So I knew that I had to post my PG has to be in finance somewhere. Luckily, I got the chance. And yes, currently also I am working as a strategy manager in the financial arm of Aditya Birla Group. So currently working there and try to do well with my education there.
Okay, great. And one thing, okay, so meanwhile, students, if you guys have any questions, okay, you can just put it there in the chat box. Okay, we'll take it. And from my side, Chirayu, okay, this is one question that
Yeah.
one thing. So when we are in campuses, okay, we're going through that transformation journey, because I'm also in touch with a lot of my students right now who are in NM, okay, being the first
Yeah.
year of NM and IIMs, and so मैं उनसे हमेशा regularly बात करते रहता हूँ. So we know that the first year, first 6 months, in fact, of MBA is going to be the most hectic, or rather the phase where the maximum transformation takes place. Okay,
Yes,
but
yes,
there is always one or two incidents, okay, in the entire journey of MBA, that everyone feels that, okay, ये एक चीज MBA ने मुझे कितनी अच्छी सिखाई. Okay, like this is amazing. This is one learning that I'm going to remember. This one incident that I'm going to remember all my life. Okay, so
yes.
what was that for you that happened in NM for you?
So I think this would be a very common answer across a lot of MBA guys, but it is the process where you have to go through a lot of probably I would say I won't say pressure, but I would say a lot of thinking and a lot of decision making when it comes to where you end up working with. So the placement season. So I think that teaches you a lot of stuff. You
Lord.
have to take decisions within the seconds because you're either in or you're out for good. So I think that particular season for placements, I think that makes you extremely tough even in the corporate life because then you can handle a lot of pressure, honestly, even post MBA. But that teaches you a lot of things about you, about your friends, about your friendship, about life lessons like never to give up and whatever happens for a reason. But yes,
Yeah.
also very teaching moment that it's okay to wait for good things. It's okay to wait for good things. I think I've learned that. and I'm extremely thankful for that learning through NM.
So that is so I got placed on the first company on campus. So Deloitte was the first company on campus, and I got placed.
Yeah,
So I never experienced that part of MBA. Okay, so but I used to see that very much in my group. Okay, in my friends. Okay, where
yeah,
people gave 5, 10, 15 interviews, and these are all smart chaps, and they're getting
exactly.
rejected. Okay, and you know the placement season. You have a company on campus almost every day. Okay, so
Yeah,
every day you go suited, booted, and you come back rejected. So, but
exactly.
then one of my friends, okay, she cracked Microsoft, which was her like after getting 15 or 16 rejections, okay, and then 17 company was my Microsoft, and she bagged one of the highest packages. So,
Yeah,
but that 15 rejections back to back and going and then cracking another company, I
exactly.
think that was amazing. That
Yeah,
was
I think
amazing. That
there are
learning
there are very
picked up right.
few. When you are in MBA college, you put so much pressure on yourself to do a lot of good things that it naturally comes to you कि यार कुछ यहाँ आया है तो कुछ अच्छा करना ही है. So that just adds to the pressure. But I would say an enjoyable moment once you come out of it, something that you will cherish all your life.
Great, great, great. People are having some final question towards the end. Okay, how do we improve specifically in LR? Tanay is asking that. Anything because
Uh,
you aced LR. Okay, if you can answer that for him.
So, Tanay, I think in LR, it is very important that you understand what type of questions will be asked in the exam. And be it the images wala question or be the series wala questions. So, you have to understand that just a hack that I probably understood or I probably assume is that there are just X number of hacks, X number of logics that can be used in a paper. You just try to practice so much that you understand most of the logics. So in short, what I'm saying is, bus mocks dete raho. You will understand what type of questions are coming, what is the thought process you're supposed to have in the exam, and everything will just smoothen up. So again, I am re-emphasizing this because it worked for me and hoping it would work big time for you guys as well. Keep giving the exams, especially LR. It is just about practice and understanding what type of questions come in. So that is, I think, that is the hack that I would like to give everybody.
Great, great. Chirayu, I think your inputs okay, was definitely motivating for students. Okay, at this point of time, a lot of people came up with their own questions, okay, doubts, and this main takeaway that I'm going to highlight towards the end is that though you identified that what is not working for you, especially in cons, okay, and what
Yeah,
worked for you, and you raised it to another level. That yes,
yeah,
okay, that should be impeccable. Okay, so you achieved that part, and in cons ठीक है हमको सिर्फ वो लक्ष्मण रेखा जो है ओके दैट इज द कट ऑफ
yeah,
लाइन need to touch somehow that okay that you find out through arithmetic and geometry okay so
yes,
good enough I mean that if someone has that clarity and then the 45 marks that you gave you made sure that that strategy you are going to make it work for you so great guys
yes.
okay I think great session from Chirayu sir here okay and thanks a lot Chirayu for joining in
Thank you
and
so much,
motivating
Haider, for having me. Thank you so much.
yeah,
I wish
and I'm sure
everybody
we will have to move with regards to further more sessions towards guiding and mentoring students as well.
definitely looking forward to it. And also, I would like to say all the best, guys. It is a great thing to even attempt such exams. So all the best, and congratulations for reaching till year part. There's just a small road ahead. Do not stop. Do not give up now. Just push yourself, and you'll definitely reach whatever you are aiming for. So all the best for that, and take care in the current environment. I think that is also important right now.
Okay, thank you, Chirayu. Bye bye.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much, Haider.
for
Thank you
joining.
so much. Good evening,
Yeah.
guys.